Hey home theater fans, thanks for joining me today. In this video, we're diving into a performance review of one of StormAudio's big announcements from earlier this year. That's their new ADEC or Advanced Decoder Card. You know, we've been talking a lot about top shelf high-end processors in the past few days here on AV Nirvana, and StormAudio, they are right there neck and neck for the top spot. And one of the things that I love about the brand, beyond the sound and the world-class performance when it comes to home theater and immersive audio, it's the built-in modularity, and that's part of the company's ethos. You know, unlike some brands that tease it when it comes to physical components, Storm has a track record of delivering, and ultimately that means you can rest easy once you open the checkbook and write that check for a Storm processor, because you know what you buy will have long-term viability with both software and hardware support that allows you to keep your processor while swapping in new components. And the software side is also just in constant development. And I say that based not only on covering this company as media since its inception, but also as an owner of an ISP Elite MK2. And I have to add that this sort of product approach is much more environmentally friendly than the typical model cycle that we see from other brands, ultimately resulting in less waste as new technologies and features are developed, which personally, to me, is a big deal. All right, so let's talk ADEC. This product is another big step forward in this pathway of upgradability for Storm, but it's also a nice moment for the folks there at the company as it's built from the ground up in-house. Previously, their decoder was not, and that matters because Storm now has full control over every single element of its processor's guts. We're talking both hardware and software, and from their perspective, that means tighter integration, faster development cycles, and the ability to address new audio technologies for the foreseeable future. But Storm also says it gives them just this little granular control over how the decoder behaves. There's a lot more switches and levers for them to manipulate and pull and dial in performance. So for us, that's really good news. Now, spec-wise, we're talking roughly 10 times the processing power of the previous decoder. And for you, that means faster format switching. Storm says codec to codec transitions are 2.5 times quicker, which battles those annoying dropouts that can happen when content you're watching switches from, say, PCM stereo to 5.1. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But it also means Storm can more easily service cutting-edge audio, which when it comes to processors, with Storm, we're talking about Atmos and DTS:X Pro, Auro 3D, MPEG-H, which they recently brought on board, and also Sony 360 Reality Audio. ADEC also ups the number of supported channels from 32 to 35, and that means it expands the number of possible configurations from 1,669 to a mind-blowing 2,496. And there are claims that it also delivers better precision in rendering, upmixing, and scaling across different theater sizes. So that's the top-line overview. If you want a full technical breakdown, go check out my friend Brett on Factnatics. He hosted Storm's Matt Trinkline on a live stream, and they dug deep into the weeds, going as far as to talk about the benefits of ADEC being compatible with the latest versions of Dolby Atmos, which is version 1.8 for those of you out there who are counting. I'll drop a link to it down in the description. Definitely go and check it out. Okay, so physically speaking, the board is the exact same size as the previous decoder. You can see that Storm has added some nice little branding to the new version. It's actually a really nice looking board, but size-wise, this is a plug-and-play drop-in replacement. Now, if you're an original MK1 owner, you need to make sure that you have the MK 1.5 kit installed. Otherwise, MK2 and MK3 owners are pretty much good to go. If you own a Focal Astral or a Bryston SP4, you can also install ADEC, which is great news for that group of owners. In terms of installation, this is a pretty basic process. From start to finish, it took me about 40 minutes to complete, and most of that was unhooking and removing my MK2 from the rack. And then on the back end, making sense of just a rat's nest of XLR cables and reinstalling the current firmware, but really not too much of a hassle. To gain access to the guts of the processor, you'll need to tackle roughly 20 or so Torx screws. And for that, you'll need a T20 bit. You can find that at your local hardware store. And then there's these internal Allen wrench screws. You need a 5/32 Allen wrench to remove those screws that lock that board into place. And aside from that, that's pretty much all the tools you need. Folks, here, grounding is absolutely critical when working inside your processor. Storm includes a wrist leash in the kit that will ground you to the chassis, and the only way to complete that grounding is to make sure the processor is plugged into the wall with the power switched off on the back side. Okay, so make sure the power's off, plug it in the wall, and you're grounded. The upgrade ships with printed documentation that walks you through the removal and installation process. My best advice here is read that cover to cover before you unhook and remove your unit from the rack, because you'll need to confirm a few things up front, like your firmware version. So don't rush. It's not a long process, but a little attention to detail is going to take you a long way. So after installation, I basically got this thing back into my rack. I updated the firmware to 4.7R0. I confirmed everything was working properly with a few sound checks, and then we turned to the testing portion of this review. So let's start with sound quality. And to be completely honest, the sound quality I was getting with the old decoder was really super high level, and that's running active room treatment with a setup that has 15 channels, 4 subs, and a Sendo infrasonic sub. So we're talking about 20 in total. Sound quality with that was just amazing. And with the new decoder, same speaker arrangement, I think it's just as good. I guess you could say maybe possibly better. I'm not sure, but to me, it sounded just as good. As humans, it's just a basic fact that our acoustic memory isn't great. So it's likely impossible to reliably compare before and after without some sort of quick switching AD comparison. So for this review, let's just say this. With ADEC installed, audio quality, it remains stellar. The noise floor, it's pretty much a blank canvas. It sounds exactly like what you're going to expect from this kind of product. And more importantly, once that decoder is installed, you can let it rip. You don't have to recalibrate your system. In that sense, again, it is totally plug and play. Now, one of ADEC's claims is that it reduces switching times by speeds that are 2.5 times faster. After talking with Storm, it sounds like this claim is somewhat variable in the real world. Of course, their measurement is lab-based. I don't have that capability here. And there are many factors coming into play once it's in a home environment, right? Meaning it's very much system dependent. But here's where things get interesting. Remember how I said the decoder is built in-house and that gives them access to fine controls? Well, that means that this launch is just the beginning. What we're seeing could in fact be improved as they continue to tweak and make those fine little changes to software. Also, just a note, all the functionalities within the phone app, they worked exactly as expected post-install. Both the phone app and on-screen information properly displayed what kind of audio format was in place. So ADEC was behaving expected in that regard. Now, in terms of switching, I conducted some informal measurements of audio on my system using both a Kaleidoscape player and an Apple TV 4K. Now, keep in mind, my processor still has the older HDMI 2.0 section in it, but in my testing, I measured audio delays in relation to the first moment an image became visible to the first moment of hearing audio. In general, I saw an improvement of about 6%, which translates roughly a little over 1 times faster. For me, these moments of delay were already fast, okay? With the older card, they were hovering right around 1 second. And with ADEC, they're even faster. And that's for moments where there's a delay going from no audio to content playback, like starting a movie on Kaleidoscape, but also changes to audio when streaming. For example, on HBO Max, previews are formatted in PCM stereo, and that can switch to Atmos for a feature film. right? So with ADEC in play and with Kaleidoscape content, I had a few moments where audio was actually starting before an image was visible, which I don't think had ever happened before. But if there was any audio delay at all in that same scenario, it was an average of about 1.08 seconds. And for streaming with HBO Max, I was getting a delay of just about 1.7 seconds. Of course, I have to stress, these are real world numbers based on small sample sizes, and there are a lot of variables at play here. I mean, we have the sources. Again, that's a Strato C player from Kaleidoscape, that Apple TV 4K. Then we have the HDMI cable to the 2.0 HDMI section of the processor, all of which can influence these behaviors. So quite a few moving parts. Storm in its lab, perfect testing environment, is getting slightly faster speed. So if we're talking 1.15 seconds, their speed would be closer to half a second. And here's what 1 second looks like compared to half a second. Yeah, right? Super fast. Even at a second, it happens in an instant. And I think it's even shorter when your brain is processing both sight and sound. Now, right now, you can't say that about Storm's biggest competitor, which is something that someone had dropped a comment on in my last video. So color me impressed, and I'm excited to see where they take ADEC's performance as they get down into the nitty-gritty of code and further hone performance. So the question is, should you make an upgrade to ADEC? Well, based on my own experience and the evidence that I was able to gather, it seems like a no-brainer to me. For the time being, your old decoder board is still going to give you a super high level of performance, but going with ADEC gives you access to improved performance. You know, my performance increase was marginal, but still there. And that's happening right out of the gate. We don't know what's going to happen down the road. You're definitely not introducing any sort of audio issues, and it preps your system for what's to come down the road. Let me know if you have any questions out there. I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, subscribe right here on YouTube and join our forum community at avnirvana.com.